Minerva Type F/M8 Limousine 1938. The car offered here represents the end of the run for the pre-war Minerva brand, by which time the merger with Imperia had taken effect, and the cars were a shadow of their former days. Very few of these final cars remain today. As with so many of their production over the 4 decades of their business, it was the British market that continued to be a good market for their products, retaining the sheer scale of the behemoth Als that preceded it, as well as an 8-cylinder power unit, perhaps owing to the high taxes that the UK decreed based on engine size. The car had a much reduced capacity of 4 litres, a common engine size for cars in the UK by the late 1930s. Although the chassis plate on this car lists it as a Type F, and confirms its 4-litre capacity, elsewhere the car is badged as an M8, which was more than likely the British Minerva agency designation for the model. This may be one of the pair of cars that was shown at the London Motor Show. It certainly spent most of its life in the UK, being registered in the London area on the 20th of June 1938. Like many of the cars in this group, there is a solid file of information appertaining to its history, and within that is various correspondence as well as a continuation logbook. This resource traces the car through much of its existence. From that, we know that it was acquired by noted dealers halfway garages of Reading, Berkshire, from a Mr. Hadfield of Salisbury in 1959, having been off the road since 1953. It was promptly sold north to T.I.A. McDougall of Shondon, and within a few years had changed hands again to a Bruce Smith of Glasgow, who was its owner in 1967. Photos of the Minerva in this period show it being retrieved from long-term storage and in need of refurbishment. Mr. van der Stappen purchased the car from Smith directly, so these two custodians account for at least 50 of its 83 years. A sympathetic restoration has clearly been undertaken, most probably prior to its arrival in the collection, changing it to a handsome Mason's black scheme with red coachline accents. With this restoration now lightly aged and in view of its inactivity in recent years, we would recommend the sensible precaution of recommissioning before use. In its style, the Type F/M8 retains much of the dignity and presence of its forebears, and actually the bodywork is reminiscent of American Fleetwood bodies of this same period. Its 6-light cabin is separated with a fixed division, most probably to distinguish passengers from its chauffeur, and with harder-wearing leather for the front and fawn Bedford cloth for the rear. Even in this late stage, much effort is made in this car's detail, with stylized Art Deco wood door cappings, and door pulls, commodious seats with extended armrests and vanity units to the sides.